Good afternoon. This is Matt Hanna at ACI Agency here in Imperial. This is the first of a webinar series that we're going to do during the month of February as guys are considering what kind of insurance elections for the 2016 growing season are going to fit their operation. Basically, my opinion when it comes to crop insurance this year is that there are no sacred cows when it comes to inputs. And what we want to do is give you guys the tools you need to evaluate your crop insurance decisions to make sure that you're buying a product that meets your needs premium-wise and coverage-wise. So we're going to start today with a historical evaluation. We're then going to tear into optional unit, enterprise unit, deductibles, and comparing those. Hail products, we're going to look at merging your federal crop and your hail together. Then finally, we're going to look at ratio evaluation, because at the end of the day, that's what we care about, and talk a little bit about how we can stress test your ratios to make sure we've got a risk management plan that's going to keep you solvent, make sure that conversation with the banker is as easy as possible this fall. So let's go ahead and tear into this. These are kind of going to be short and sweet. I just want to get you guys thinking about this. If you want to dive into it, go ahead and contact me. My contact info is up there. So let's get going. So what we're starting with is we're starting with an APH database. This is yield histories. I'm going to highlight here we've got 11 years worth of yield history. Okay, we got multiple units, and then we've got the average, so farm averages. And then underneath here, what we've done is we've trend adjusted these yields backwards. Why have we done that? Well, we want our yield history to be as representative as possible to today's yield capacity. So what we've got here is we've got trend adjusted yields. We've got a full APH database. And then we're going to stress test it using current prices, using current premiums, and we're going to see how this thing nets out, see what product is the best fit. Now, it's important to note that we're not using just loss ratios, because loss ratios can be distorted by loss years in years when we have high prices. For example, 2012 when corn runs up over $7. We're also using current premiums. That's important because crop insurance is re-rated. Federal crop insurance, hail insurance is re-rated all the time. So you're just using historical loss ratios. This doesn't give you a very good picture of what's actually going on. What we're looking for here is effective premium, which means that the gross premium you've paid in, the checks you've wrote over the last 10, 11 years. Then we're going to subtract out the indemnities, which is just fancy speak for losses. And we're left with a net number, or your effective premium, what you've actually paid out of pocket. Okay? So let's dive into this. Up top here, we've got optional units versus enterprise units. Each one of these optional units has its own APH database, just like the enterprise unit does. And then within those optional units, every unit is going to perform differently due to the fact that we have so many isolated losses. These numbers in the red, that's good for you as a farmer. That means you've actually received more money than you've put in over the history that we're evaluating. But then when it's all said and done, what we really care about is down here, these averages. On this 2,500 acres, what's going to perform the best? So let's tear into it. Optional units on this farm, $4.20 at the 65% level, $3.76 on the enterprise unit. Now, why is that $3.76 on an enterprise unit? It's actually because it's never triggered a loss. That's actually your premium is $3.76. So the optional unit, you've triggered some isolated losses. Those isolated losses have got the premium basically to a wash with an enterprise unit. As we climb up to the 70% level, we're going to see the same thing. Optional unit, enterprise unit, they stack up. They're about the same. At 75%, same deal. I mean, we're within $2 an acre. I'm going to call that a wash. And we're talking about, so I guess this would be the tipping point. If I was at 75%, in this situation for $2 an acre on 2,500 acres, I would go with an optional unit over an enterprise unit because of the deductible that's built into your enterprise unit. Now, as we get to 80 and 85%, that's where this enterprise unit starts to look a little bit better. We start talking at the 85% level about saving $8.45. We're talking some real money. Now, am I trying to talk you guys all into enterprise units? Absolutely not. We really need to evaluate this optional unit, enterprise unit deductible before we make any decisions. But as you're going through and you're making your coverage elections, this should give you a little bit of guidance as to what kind of unit structure is going to be the best fit. Then as we turn to the deductibles and hail products, this is just the first step of a risk management plan. So thanks for your time. I'm going to tell you right now that every farm is unique. I've got some farms where the optional unit just outperforms the enterprise unit at every level. I've also got farms where the enterprise unit outperforms the optional unit at every level. So every farm is different. Let's take a look at your farm and stress test it and see what we can learn about it. So thanks for your time. Stay warm. If you've got questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. We'll also post a copy of this webinar on the website, which is insuraci.com. Thanks again for your time.